Welcome to the Houston Huddle, where knowledge meets the game. 3 voices, every angle and beyond the headlines. Xavier Houston is a sports encyclopedia of knowledge, with a deep inside look at the recruiting landscape, from prospects to pipelines. He sees the whole board. Simeon Houston brings it play by play, thought by thought, breaking down the game with logic, clarity, and a deep understanding of how all the pieces fit together. And rounding out the huddle, Martin Houston, national champion, 2-time SEC champion, with insight forged in the field of play, with an unmatched passion for sports, leadership, and life. Together, they take you from the locker room
to the field, to inside the huddle. 3 voices, every angle,
beyond the headlines.
This is the Houston Huddle.
Now it's time to lock in.
It's time for the huddle. The Houston Huddle.
The Houston Huddle.
It's time for the huddle. The Houston Huddle.
Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share on your favorite social platform. And let's get in the game.
Welcome into the Houston Huddle. I'm Martin Houston, and it is now time for us to kick off the Houston Huddle. Ah, man. Got a great night lined up for him, Sim. Gonna have to hear from the Maniacs. Alabama reportedly has a starting quarterback. Keelan Russell has beaten out the veteran. I love it, vet. It's funny how all of a sudden he lost a job, now he's a vet. Keelan Russell beat out a vet. But the old guy, was Russell simply the better quarterback? Or did Alabama choose potential over experience, limited experience? Did they pick future? Did they pick now? I mean, not now. Future over now? And then when I say future, I'm talking about literally 6, 8, 10, 12 games future. Is Keelan Russell clearly the best quarterback today, or is he the guy that's going to give them the best chance 7 weeks from now, 8 weeks from now, 9 weeks from now, 12 weeks from now, 14 weeks from now, when Alabama is making a run for a championship? Did the coaching staff make the best choice? I don't think you could go wrong. We're going to talk about that. After we settle the quarterback debate, we're going to predict, talk about maybe Alabama record, floor, ceiling. We'll talk about that. Simeon, I know that's been one of the conversations you've been talking about. Season is upon us. By the time we have the next Houston Huddle, the season would have started. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to also expand outside of just Alabama because the Houston Huddle isn't just an Alabama show. It is a college sports show. So we'll talk a little bit about maybe some national championship contenders, maybe some Heisman hype, talk a little bit about the stupidity of I'm sorry, I probably gave my opinion, the stupidity of the college uh, former NFL guy
Former NFL, former college, now going back and entering
transfer portal.
portal. Actually, has already inked the deal to go to LSU. He's not really in the portal. He's already told people that he's going to LSU.
Ooh.
Well, they let me get his name right.
One's already
Wright, Brown's tight end, Daquan Wright is going to sign with LSU.
Wow.
It said if he clears waivers. Yeah.
See, that's the crazy. If another NFL team doesn't pick him up, he's going back to college. The tight end?
The tight end.
Doesn't
That suited up for the Browns yesterday.
Doesn't LSU have the best tight end in college football?
One of them, yeah.
Oh, wow. Anyway, we're going to break it down. You listen to the Martin. You listen to the Houston Huddle. I'll get it right. The Houston Huddle. Three voices, every angle beyond the headlines. For me, we are going to talk about it. And kudos, man. Anyone that listens to me know that I thought that Mac would be the starter, but all offseason, Simeon, we said the moment there was a change, then that would mean something. And we saw that change on Thursday, which signified to me that the even flipped. In other words, they were even, but they did this. And they put Russell in front. And of course, we saw it on Yay, Alabama. We heard it from ESPN and all of that Russell's been named the quarterback at Alabama. We're going to break down what does that mean for Alabama. Good news, I think, in a lot of ways, but we may have to deal with some growing pains. But those growing pains may not cost us anything. And I think that was part of this decision, Simeon. So, Maniacs, we're talking to you. If you're out there listening, we need you to get in on the conversation as well. We want you to jump in on it, and we're going to get right into it. But before we do it, we remind you that the Lord has blessed us with another day. Let's make the most of it. That we get, man, I mean, thank you, Jesus, that I get to do this in the United States of America, where we can talk radio and have a good time. And Keita then jumped in. I like her comment. Keita 23 will work her into the conversation as well. Last week she picked up. Last week. Last week she had some really really good insight. So looking forward to hearing her thoughts as we move throughout the program. See Jacob Powell online, Chapman jumping in. So just let yourself be known if you're out there listening. Maniacs, we welcome you into the program. All right. First question. Why do you believe Keelan won this job? Is he clearly better? Is he clearly the number one guy?
I'll say yes. Clearly, just for the coaches, I think what Keelan can bring to the table. There's parts of that Austin could not do, and as the spring, summer, and fall went along, the things that Austin did better than Keelan closed the gap on that. And so once Keelan closed the gap on on those things, whether that's communication, playbook, command of the offense, respect, all those things. Once Keelan closed the gap on that, and there wasn't that big of a difference in between those two, I think that's why Keelan slid in front of Mac. I mean, we all knew that Keelan's the better athlete, the dynamite in the bottle per Marshall Pritchett, and so when dynamite in a bottle catches up to knowledge of playbook, command of offense, communication, respect of teammates, I think that's why they made the move and went ahead and named Keelan the starting quarterback.
Yeah, Keelan Russell, like I said, I shared this on just a quick post yesterday. Austin Mack didn't lose this job. Keelan Russell won the job. And that's a important distinction for me as an Alabama fan. They didn't lower the standard in order to name him the quarterback. And Mack didn't play bad, and Keelan took advantage of bad play. I said it, Coach DeBoer was on Ryan Fowler's show right after spring game, and everybody was excited about what they saw from Keelan Russell. And I like coaches. I hadn't brought this up the entire time, but now that he's won the job, um, I want to point out. I thought it was pretty impressive that Coach said it. Ryan was talking about, hey, what do we say to everybody to kind of get them to kind of hold down the excitement around Keelan Russell? You know what he said? It's not my job to be and this is paraphrase, it's not my job to be the excitement police. In other words, I'm not going to tell them not to get excited about him because I think he was saying we're excited about him. But I do not think that Keelan Russell was the starter 3 weeks ago. I think that Keelan Russell going into the spring game was second. And slowly, as you said, he worked to get better and better and better. I just wonder, and I think he eventually passed him. And I think it's not just they passed him, Simeon. I think scheduling matters.
Absolutely.
I wonder, would the coaching staff have made the same decision? And I don't know this. If those 4 games in the middle of the season was at the beginning of the season. Because what we've heard is his playmaking is through the roof, but his playmaking also leads to now neither one of these quarterbacks were turnover machine. So
Right.
that's not what I'm talking about. But that some of the level of execution and diversity of fronts and looks that Georgia can bring at you, and these the Oklahomas of the world, the big boys of the world can bring at you is a lot more intricate. And I just wonder, would they have trusted him week 1, week 2, 3, 4, if that was the case? But I think what they believe is the rest of this team is so good that, man, we can't we have a guy right now that's right here even with the guy, but one guy might right now, and this is what I told you yesterday, Mac may be tapping out right now at 90%, 95%, and he can win, and Alabama could win with that. Keelan may be tapping out at 80, 85% of his potential, and it's even. And so the long run, they made the choice. I hate it for Mac. My heart goes out to him because of his commitment to this program and to this staff. And I hate it for him that he did not win the job. But I also don't believe in participation trophies.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as everybody knows that I wanted Austin Mack to win the job, without a doubt. And one thing that for me at least, um, that people were saying, "Oh, like he got done wrong," or something like that. Austin Mack did not get done wrong. Um,
Right.
he was given an opportunity to become the starter at Alabama, and I think he was given a fair and maybe even longer than maybe he should have gotten to uh, establish himself as the starter at Alabama. And so,
Was it easy? Was the easy choice Russell? And this coaching staff could have made that choice 3 weeks ago, and no Alabama fans as a whole would have been upset. So is it possible that some people are now the people who say it wasn't close? I think they're being disingenuous. I don't believe that, but I have heard people saying for 2 to 3 weeks that he had overtaken him. Right? I didn't agree with it till I saw evidence otherwise. Right? But
yeah,
was the easy choice picking Russell, and this coaching staff fought against that easy choice and let this battle play out, and therefore, as you say, truly did give Mac a chance.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call Keelan the easy choice, but I get what you're saying. What do you mean by that? But
I'm sorry, sorry, the fan favorite,
yeah, the
like
fan for they could have. I mean, Keelan. I'm not saying that Keelan was the quarterback 3 weeks ago. Neither are you, and I don't think that DeBoer and company for 100% set on Keelan 2 3 weeks ago. Um, but it does give, like right now, just moving forward, it does give Alabama fans, like me and you that chose or said Mac first to kind of, I guess, rally behind Keelan. I don't know that that's not going to be an issue between us for rallying behind Keelan and hoping nothing but
absolutely,
success, nothing but success for him because that's we're Alabama fans at the end of the day. We just had a preference. But I'm excited to see what Keelan does this year. I mean, he's immensely talented. He's the number one recruit that Alabama has ever signed, and that's including all of the Bama greats that have come through here.
yeah. And I kind of believe I kind of felt the key to 23 way, and I think you and I was feeling that. Also, Max starting with the point to prove, and if he didn't prove it, you move to Keelan. I thought if they were even, if they were truly even, I thought you go with the older guy. Okay, if you could win with the older guy, if you could win 9-3 with the older guy, and you feel like you could go 12-0 with the younger
Yeah,
guy,
that's
see,
no
that's
doubt.
different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
No
saying if you
doubt.
feel like both of these guys could get you there, then you go with the older guy who's shown commitment and favoritism, not out of participation trophy, but because they've earned it. And this
Well,
coach has made
I mean, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, because I want to transition the angle of the conversation a little bit, Simeon, to this is to me the single biggest decision Kalen DeBoer has made, and many Alabama fans feel like this is the year that they need to see something from him. With that said, how linked is this decision to the Kalen DeBoer legacy? Is this the AJ McCarron move that Saban made? I mean, how big a deal is this in terms of the legacy? If this doesn't work out, man, I mean, of course, I'm being worst case scenario, right? If this doesn't work out, whew, how big a deal will this be?
I mean, if it doesn't work out, worst case scenario, I mean, it could be rough. Alabama could that puts Alabama worst case scenario. Alabama ceiling is 8-4. Um, and that's the best of the worst, but could be 7-5 with a loss to Auburn at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Um, and so it could be. Um, and if DeBoer has a 7-5 season in year three, I don't I don't think they would fire him, but I've learned, and I was talking to you about this before the show, that there's levels to this Alabama fandom, and I've realized that I'm nowhere near the top of Alabama fandom, and so this is an emotional business. I mean, you fired James Franklin last year for, I think they fired him way too quickly, and emotions. I mean, just think about Alabama starts the season 3-2, heading to Georgia and get beat, and I mean anything can happen.
Yeah.
And so, in an emotional game like this, or go starting the season 5-0, and then losing four straight games and losing to Auburn to cap out the season.
Yeah, let me ask you a couple other quick rapid fire type of questions. Are we evaluating Russell on what he is today or what he can become?
State that one more time.
Are we evaluating Russell based on what he is today or what he can become?
It's a little bit of what we think that he can become.
Right. If he had to go against Georgia next week, do you go with him? Right? I don't know.
I
I heard he's extremely composed. I heard nothing rattles him.
I mean, if we've at Alabama, we've seen a first year quarterback stay composed and lead drives like Bryce Young. You know, the ones nothing he was even killed, nothing rattled Bryce Young. There was, I mean, several series and several drives where there was nothing that rattled him. But I think as of right now, I mean, we've seen some clips of Keelan Russell, him rolling out of the pocket and still being able to make an accurate pass on the run and all that stuff. I mean, that's what he is right now.
How
And
how difficult will it be for Mac to remain engaged after losing this competition? Alabama, we're all feeling good because we have two top tier quarterbacks. Um, we better pray that this young man's upbringing holds and sticks. And I
that
pray we don't need him. I mean, it's kind of weird. I want to see Matt get a chance, but I don't want to see him get a chance because Keelan got hurt. So it's kind of a
yeah,
mixed
yeah.
bag of how I feel. But I do think Mac um, is super important because this team, from everything I've ever heard, is special. Like the brotherhood, the camaraderie, and all of that. Um, and anytime you have a quarterback, there's always guys that like both, like their guy, even though they might like both guys. And this is the type of thing because of the competition and all of that that could, if handled wrong, be devastating to what I think is making this team potentially be really special.
I mean, I agree with that. Like Keita says, his dad is military, and so hopefully, what he was, that upbringing holds on him. But I mean, it's hard. I think that's going to be one of DeBoer's tougher uh, coaching jobs, or Coach Ellis's coaching jobs, is keeping him engaged, because we don't want this to happen. So I'm not wanting this to happen. But Keelan could be the starting quarterback for Alabama for a quarter, and then it's Austin Mack for the rest of the year. And we don't want that to happen. But football is a physical sport, and injuries happen.
Right.
And so he has to stay engaged, because just because Keelan's QB1 right now, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be QB1 against Georgia
And nothing,
or
and nothing about this young man seems to point that Alabama is going to have an issue. I will
not at
keep
all.
my nose to the grindstone and see if I can find about, did team chemistry change? Did the attitudes in the locker room change? Did the brotherhood on the field change? That's going to be some of the questions that I'm going to be watching outside of um,
Because
football.
this is a young football team, and Mac is one of the old guys on the team. He's been
Right.
there for this is 3
Yeah.
years with Mac at Alabama, and so even it we know he's not QB1, but he's a leader on this team. I
Yes.
wouldn't be surprised if he might be voted a captain. Wouldn't shock me if he is. And so that dynamic, I don't know if he'll be voted captain now, but
Yeah. I don't
that
know.
he might. It wouldn't surprise me if Austin Mack's captain for this team. I don't want to call it Jalen Hurts esque, but kind of a different situation, but same type of feel of having him as a backup quarterback.
Yeah. With that said, could Mac end up being, whether he plays or not, out one of Alabama's most important members of the roster? And I say the answer to that is yes. I think this team, I think how he engages and helps Keelan. I remember Jalen Hurts struggling because he didn't have anybody he could come to the sideline and talk to. I mean, he just there was nobody on the sideline that knew any more than he did. And
Yeah,
and so he didn't have that extra set of eyes on the sideline. I think Mac's engagement and him helping is going to be huge and beneficial. What I don't want Alabama fans to do, and I want to make sure I don't, is let's write this young man off as, oh my goodness, he was just a has been or whatever. I don't know that he'll ever play for Alabama. I mean, as a starter or anything. Um, but I do want to take right now and say thank you, Austin Mack, for your commitment, sticking it out. Everything that we say we want this younger generation to be, you exhibited. You exhibited that in choosing to stay twice. He chose to stay last year. He chose to stay this year, and he's chose to
after he
fight.
got, I mean, after he got offer, I'm sure he got offered a
The
lot
last,
of money to be somebody else's quarterback this past year. And after what he did in the Indiana game, you wouldn't. I mean, that doesn't surprise you. I know he doesn't have the tons of reps, but I mean, look at if you just look at Austin, I think Keelan's probably the one of the very few quarterbacks that would beat him out in a quarterback battle.
yeah, I'm looking forward to what he's able to bring to the table. See, I mean, one of the things we're going to transition to, we're going to just take a quick second to run, kind of sip down some water, wet the palate, just refresh. But coming back on the other side, just a quick moment here, about 60 seconds, and we'll be back to talk to you about an angle you're probably not going to hear anybody, why this is such a big week at Alabama. Why is this potentially the biggest week in the Kalen DeBoer era? We're going to break that down, and it has nothing to do with the quarterback. We'll be back on the other side. All right. Keita said, I'm sure Miami called him last year. Right after they called Ty. And Ty said no. They called him. Guys, Alabama has made a decision on their quarterback. They made some decisions on other positions. It appears that Mal Waldrop is going to be the starter at left guard. It appears that Javen James is going to hold on to that right tackle position. Do I think that the five that start is going to be the five that ends it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That big 6'8", 300-pound super athletic right tackle, that's a game changer. Do you understand how big your pocket is, Simeon?
You got 2 6'8"
Yeah,
as your tackles.
as your tackle. So, but it looks like Luke Metz is going to be the starter right now. I wonder who else is above the line, as Womack called it. So we're going to be hearing from Womack and Grubb. Can't wait to talk to Grubb. I think he talks to us on Tuesday. He'll tell us the truth about this quarterback situation. But with all of those decisions, it was D-Day Thursday. It looks like the coaching staff came out and made those days. But this is their biggest challenge. Having played the game, you just had your second big scrimmage. You've been fighting like cats and dogs. I don't know what that means, but like cats and dogs to win that position. And now, whether they put the depth chart up or not, when they went out to practice today, you saw it. You saw it. You saw who were getting reps and who wasn't. Because now you're starting. The ship hadn't completely turned, but it's starting to turn toward the first game of the year. It's starting to get there, right? So this week is really tough because of the mental aspect of the game. You're tired, man. Mentally and physically, this is the hardest week to me, this is the hardest week of the football season. This is the hardest single week if you're a football player, in my opinion.
The week before game week.
Right. After, like in the spring, I mean, in the fall, I mean, when you come back after the season's over, you go to the lower gym. That's hard, man. That's hard. But you know you're working towards something. You're working towards something. You're working to get on that one, and you're working to get on that too deep. Or if you're the quarterback, you're working to get that one. Spring comes, man. Every single practice, you're fighting to get on that too deep. All this summer, kid, okay, I moved up a little bit. All summer, man, you're grinding to get to that too deep, Simeon. This past Thursday, you put all the hay in the barn for the too deep initially. That doesn't mean that there won't be some changes, but you understand what I'm saying. And now you're not in that too deep. Or you're in the too deep. And now you have to go back out there and practice again, and it's not game week. This 1 week is the absolute hardest, most difficult mental and physical part of playing football, in my opinion.
I agree, because you want it to be game week, but you can't act like game week. But if you let up at all, coaches are going to be like,
Yeah.
all that work you did to get in that too deep, gone. just because you decided to take it easy this
And you don't have a scrimmage that you're working toward. You don't have a
right.
game you're working toward, and you've hit your goal. You made the too deep. It is tough, man. And so, and as coaches, what are you trying to do, Simeon? What do you think their big goal is this week? What do you think Alabama's biggest goals are?
Making sure the guys are in shape, game
Make sure
shape.
but from a mental standpoint, this is the week you have to get in anything like installation. You're like okay, you I'm just now. I've never asked. Maybe I should send a message out and see if anybody can answer this. The week before the game week, do you look? Because if I was leading an organization, leading this football team, I would sit down and go, okay, what is it that we have absolutely got to have ready and put in place before next week so we can hone it toward our opponent? So the pressure of the installation of this week, but yet, man, you're physically just exhausted. It's hot. You're ready to quit. but that's the guys, and that's by the way, see me, that's the guys who made the too deep. Now you look at the guys who didn't make the too deep.
Guys getting moved to scout team now, and you weren't at scout team. Now you scout team.
Now you have to give me a look to get me. It's tough. It's a
And you
tough.
just got the edge over me by this little bit.
Like you start asking yourself, what if I caught that pass? What if I broke that tackle? What if I made that block? What if I made that tackle? What if I had to make that mistake? What if you start, man? It can be really, really tough. So, Bama fans, be praying for your boys this week. Be praying that they have a good, solid week where they're locked in mentally, physically, in all aspects of the game.
And I mean, offensively, they just named the quarterback. And so, this is extra install for them probably because, Keelan's the guy and he's taking the majority of the first rep. So they're probably adding maybe a couple more formations, a couple packages that benefit Keelan, even though they made some packages that benefited Austin. So they're going towards, focusing it all on Keelan.
Yeah, without a doubt, I think that there's going to definitely be some adjustments to what are you working on? Sorry, what are you working on? I mean, you're working on getting him ready to play, not them ready to play.
That's a
But
different.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was.
Yeah, you're trying to get him ready to play, and I'm excited because I think he brings a whole new set of things to the table, Simeon, that they didn't. But I just wanted to point that out. You're probably not going to hear anybody else talking about that unless they've played the game. Because if you've never played it, you just don't understand how difficult today through next Sunday is as a football player. I mean, it's just there's nothing big to look forward to. There's no scrimmage. There's no game. You're ready to start locking in. You're
And the
beat up,
coaches are going to be turned up a notch because they know that you're going to be maybe you might be a little sluggish. So the moment you start showing any type of sluggish or not as intense as you were, they're calling that out, and you're that's not going to last long.
Yeah. Hey, Simeon, let's go ahead and quickly switch over to Alabama's record real quick. And we'll go deeper on this next week as we do a preseason preview. And we'll break it down tomorrow as well and throughout the week on the Houston Huddle. But Alabama avoids Texas, Oklahoma, Ole Miss early. All right.
Yep.
But they have Georgia, Texas, Tennessee,
Georgia,
LSU.
no Texas.
I mean, not Texas. A&M. I forgot to say the A&M. But they got Georgia, Texas A&M, and then they got to go to the Tennessee and to to LSU. Most people, the bidding markets or whatever, when they say wins, got Alabama at 8.5 to 9, somewhere in that range. Um, what's Alabama's ceiling for the regular season? Regular season. What's the ceiling? What's the floor? And does that change with Keelan?
My ceiling is 11-1. My floor for them is 8-4, and I don't think that changed with either with Keelan or Austin at quarterback.
I think this team. I think if this team starts off 6-0, I think they can go 12-0.
That's hard to do.
I know it's really hard to do. It's really, really hard to do. But the reason I say that is it seems like this coaching staff is their best when there's a target. In other words, the greater the target, the greater the stress, seems like the better this coach staff coaches. I mean, like what they did in that stretch last year was unbelievable.
Historic.
Yeah. And so I like that's why I said if they win that first one and go to 6-0 and beat Georgia again, I think the lesson from 2 years ago kicks in and the experience from last year kicks in. And they figure out how to win those next three, and then I don't think that they slip on up down the stretch.
They're not slipping to Vanderbilt.
Right.
They're not at Vanderbilt. They're not going to go to Vanderbilt. That's not going to happen. And then they're going to beat Chattanooga. And then Auburn.
All right.
Auburn's going to be Auburn.
Yeah, real quick. If you say, I say they can go undefeated, but I'm going to be extremely excited with a 10-2, 11-1. I mean, like I think that is if we get another 10-2 season, as long as those two are SEC opponents from the middle four. If we lose to anybody outside of those middle four, I don't know if I feel the same way. So I think that who the two is matters.
Agreed.
So who if they're go 11-1, who's your one?
Georgia or LSU. To start off or end it.
You think they either win the first one, lose the first one, or lose the last one? Okay. Yeah.
But no, actually, I take that back. The board on a bye week is
Deadly.
never mind. So it's either the Georgia game.
Georgia game. All right. So which game is going to tell us the most about Keelan Russell? Will it be because the typical thing is to think like, okay, it's going to be those 4 stretch games. But will Kentucky tell us, will that tell us a lot? Will South Carolina? Because what he does in those games very well may be what propels him to greatness in the other ones, or the opposite.
I'm going to say Kentucky week 2 at Kentucky. They got a new coach. They're going to be excited that Bama fear factor isn't as deadly as it used to be, and so I'll say at Kentucky week 2.
I think that's going to tell us a lot too. I don't think we're going to get a good sample size or any. I don't think you're going to. I don't know though. He made some throws when he came in last year that make you go, all right.
Yeah, but he'll be doing it with the ones, so it'll look like it's easy to look over those, but you won't be able to look over that when he's doing it against the starters.
Yeah, against Kentucky and stuff like that. All right, so Alabama, you set the floor. You think is 8-4. Is it the 4 in the middle? God, that would be a rough season. How hard would that be? How hard would that?
I think the floor, like the 4 losses, are the 4 in a row. I think I could get rough.
Wow, how hard would that be?
tough. Hard. Yeah. But that's what can happen when you have a new starting quarterback. I mean, this is the first time that DeBoer. I mean, and we won't even know the benefits of this till next year. But there's been three different quarterbacks leading your team, and three totally different quarterbacks. So I don't feel like there's been anything to like build on
Yeah.
offensively. And I feel like when you have to build your offensive identity in the season, it's hard to it might be hard for you to generate that week
Yeah.
after week. I mean, because when you think about that, you got these first 5 games. Alabama should win those without too much struggle. But having to turn on that offensive identity against Georgia and then Tennessee, Texas A&M, then LSU, that's tough when you've had to do that 3 years in a row.
Yeah. And sidebar question that as you were talking made me think, Simeon, is this the first year that that this coaching staff can coach the way they coach? Like, like, like we hadn't even talked about this. Has Grubb and DeBoer been able to be Grubb and DeBoer? No, because they've had two different quarterbacks that they've had to cater their offense around. And last year they had no run game. Okay. Keelan Russell and Mac, I believe, gave them access to their entire playbook.
Absolutely. I
From
mean, DeBoer said it. Yeah.
right. And then the O line and their athletic ability gives them access to the entire playbook. Okay. The tight end room gives them access to into wide receivers. When he talks about when we're really good is when we can move guys and we don't have to designate them as X, Y, and Z. You know, that's when we're really good. And so offensively, that's the case. But it's also the same thing defensively. Womack says, I can now do some of the other things that I want to do that I have not been able to do because of the size and the length we have up front. Um, we're able to do some different match. He didn't say man, but he said match coverages, which is, I believe, some version of zone man coverages, blitzes, etc. And so we'll break down that even more. But I just thought about maybe not only do we have more talent, but we're also going to see the talent of the coaches we have here.
Agreed. I mean, like you said, Grubb and DeBoer last year were not able to even come close to calling the offense the way they wanted to because of lack of a run game and lack of overall quarterback play.
Yeah, and I didn't say the running back room, but I need to add them. The running back room gives us access to the entire playbook as well. What I'm talking about is this coach said you can see it in Grubb's attitude.
Yeah,
Grubb seems
happier.
legitimately excited about coaching this team, which gets me excited. So what now?
That's it. I agree.
All right, real quick, national SEC national standpoint, Simeon, first time top 25, first time since 2008. Alabama not in the top 10. But everybody was writing it off like that's not when the run started. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
literally the run started in 2008.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I see that, it's just it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I think this is Alabama's best team that DeBoer is coached, and I don't think it's necessarily close. Just with the completeness of the defense, this is the best defense Alabama has had in several years before, even prior to DeBoer.
Right.
Offensive wise, maybe not, but I think the ceiling of this offense with Keelan and RCW and the running backs will open up more of Grubb's personality and play calling that will allow Alabama to.
Yeah, and I look at it from this standpoint. You got Keelan Russell at quarterback. That's a game changer. Um, if everything that we've heard about him is true, then that changes your ceiling for your offense as a whole. Um, and I just don't know what when I look at the list of uh, top 25 or Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Indiana, Miami, A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, Texas Tech. I want somebody to tell me why you think that those rosters are better and more talented than Alabama's roster. There's a couple of them I could see that, but a couple of them
Because they were bought and paid for. I mean, Alabama, they were. There are teams that have $50 million rosters. I mean, and we play one of them or two of them almost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Here's the thing. Seaman, I looked at that real quick. Did you realize that of that list, one, two, three, four, five, six, I think it's six of the top, no, seven of the top 12 teams are Saban boys.
yeah, I remember you sending that.
Is that not crazy? Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Indiana, Miami, Ole Miss, LSU, all former Saban guys, right? I thought that was pretty interesting. But here's the thing, Sammy, who you got winning? Let's quickly the national title, kind of tier one, tier two, tier three, or tier one, tier two. I guess is the best one. What you got? Who's in your tier one teams that you're most likely to pick for a national title?
Miami.
You're all in on Miami.
I really like Miami. I just think what he did last year, Mario Cristobal. The thing about Mario Cristobal is one. I think the quarterback they Carson. If Miami had a better quarterback last year, they would have beat Indiana.
I agree.
And Darian Mensah from Duke is a talented quarterback, uber talented, more talented than Carson Beck was. And so I think that propels them to because they're going to. I'm not trying to be funny. Outside of SMU, maybe Clemson, they're going to cakewalk through the ACC, and then by the time they get to playoffs, you're playing your best football anyway,
And they're fresh,
and they're fresh, right?
relatively speaking.
I think Georgia. That's my. Let me see. Tier one. I'm gonna have and Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is for the same reason as Miami. Legs matter
Yes, they matter.
and so I don't think necessarily they're the most talented, but I think having fresher legs than going through a 9 game, and which is why I'm tentative to put Georgia in that tier one, but being able to go through that 9 game SEC schedule on top of the SEC championship game, that hurts a lot of SEC teams. But Miami and Notre Dame, they don't have to go through that same gauntlet. And Notre Dame, outside of like 2 games this year, play absolutely nobody.
Yeah, I hate that Notre Dame has a coach that I like because I don't want to pull against him because I like the way that guy does it. But until Notre Dame gets back up on the mountaintop, they're gonna have to prove it. So I don't put them in there. Georgia is in my tier one.
They played in the national championship 2 years ago.
Like I said, till they crest the mountaintop. They had to crest it. They got up there, but they couldn't stand on it. They couldn't stand on it. Um, uh, I don't know, man. I just don't see any juggernaut teams because Georgia doesn't feel like the Georgia of old. That's why I think that Alabama is. I really don't know that there's a tier one. Ohio State has a tier one roster, but I don't trust Ryan Day. Oregon has a tier one roster, and I don't trust him. I don't think either one of those guys can coach. If Indiana, if Signetti can pull the magic again, I think the dude can flat out coach. I don't like him. I think he's arrogant, but I also think he can coach. And I'm not paid to like him. But I just don't see any juggernaut. The teams that I think are overrated and in this thing that people are talking about national titles and stuff like that, to A&M, come on. Ole Miss, man, that dude's gonna have to show me something.
He gonna show you. He gonna show you.
I'm not sold on Pete Golding.
I'm so,
I'm not sold.
I'm sold.
What he
sold.
said? Why? Because he won last year?
Go ahead.
Because he won last year?
Yeah.
He still had the LSU. He still had the Kiffin offense.
Don't matter.
Ole Miss gonna lose 3 games, 4 games, maybe 5. I ain't even looked at their record. That's just me talking. Trinidad Chambliss is legit. I just don't know if he is going to be the weapon we saw last year with the new offensive minds. Simeon, I've seen OCs kill quarterbacks. I've seen bad OCs kill quarterbacks.
Yeah, we had one.
Yes.
In spite of.
Right. That's my point. But
Golden's a good coach though. But there was a lot of things at Alabama that kept him from being
there's
as good.
Off the field that I don't even
that kept him from being as good as he could have been. Bama fans don't like him, but he is a good coach. He's a good football coach.
Yeah, I don't know if he can handle a head job for a whole year. That's what I want to see. Yeah, that's what
I
you
have. Yeah, I have confidence in him.
Well, I'm glad you do. I don't. And I wouldn't. If they said bet on it, the teams I would not even think twice about not taking over Alabama this year. A&M, Ole Miss, OU, and Texas. Sark ain't done anything. Sark has won 10 games twice in his career.
He got a $50 million, but if
he can't win with this,
if he can't win this with this team, he is not going to be the coach at Texas next year. No, I'm serious. Like, I think he'll go to the NFL because
yeah, he has an NFL.
Every line on his offensive line is great. Quarterback is good. Running back room is good. Wide receivers are good. Defense is good. I mean, if he doesn't win it with this team, he's not winning.
All right, so man, that quarterback row on that top 5, pretty deep. Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Texas. The only one is the Notre Dame kid. That's I mean, and he's coming off of a great rookie campaign. I mean, first year starter.
He's the favorite to win the Heisman.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
Notre
Dame quarter, which is
crazy. Yeah. Anyway, we're digressing. Just a couple quick things to wrap up. Simeon, I wanted to end with something I think may blow Alabama fans' mind. When was the last time Alabama had a first-year starter that was touted and all of that? When was the last time they won a national title with a guy that was not a first-year starter?
That was not AJ.
Yeah.
When they
the last time Alabama. So when I hear people say things like Alabama is not going to be in the national title contention because they have a first-year starter. I laugh because the last time that Alabama had a guy that was not a first year starter and they won a national title was AJ's second year. Every other national title under Nick Saban was a first year starter. And if everything is correct, none of them were as talented as the guy we have now,
Not even close.
right?
Not
None
even.
of them were as talented as this guy. The other side of that coin, though, is Alabama's uber talented quarterbacks have not won the national title
As the starting quarterback.
as the starting quarterback. Tua didn't win a national title, guys. Tua won a national title game. And he doesn't even get credit for that as a starter. Right?
Right.
But he didn't lead his team.
He had an opportunity to and got
As
beat
his first,
by.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the key there, right? So
Yeah.
now, which one of those is going to pan out? Will an uber talented guy who is also the first year starter lead Alabama to a national title? Because I hear this all the time. First year starter, Alabama is out of it. Well, Alabama's proven that's not the case. Okay. The other side of that is this, Simeon. This is not the old school, everybody's uber talented, returning team, stacked team. There's some stacked rosters, but do we know if they're stacked teams? Because part of winning football is chemistry and team chemistry. Signetti caught lightning in a bottle. How many years did everybody try to take Nick Saban's winning philosophy and duplicate it, and it never worked until Kirby? And the only time Kirby won it was after Saban lost his two wide receivers. That's the only time he upset the old man. That's the only time he crested the mountaintop. So, with that said, Simeon, is Alabama a legit national champion based on the talented quarterback? And is this roster talented enough in today's game? Maybe not 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but in today's makeup, does Kalen DeBoer have the right chemistry to win a national title?
Chemistry wise, yes. And chemistry, and that can win a game here or there when you need it. National championship though, borderline. Is that an acceptable answer?
Sure.
I think you just need to see um O-line play, consistent running game. I think that's what will decide. Because they have a national championship defense. Without, there's no doubt in my mind about that. It's just the offensive side of the ball that there's so many unknowns. Even Keelan, as good as he is still an unknown, and that's not taking a dig at him.
So the question becomes, and DOG said the championships usually line up with experienced DBs and good D line play. Okay. With that statement, in the following caveat, do you say yes, it's possible versus are you kind of wavering a little bit? If the defense lives up to its expectations, special teams are gonna be better and solid. If they're just as good as they were 2 years ago. And Keelan Russell, he doesn't have to overperform. If he just lives up to the preseason hype, does Alabama have a legit shot?
Yes. I mean, not just legit. I think it's it would be disappointing to not at least make the final four,
Yeah.
semifinals of this college football playoffs this year.
Q Dixon jumping in there. Q Dixon gonna jump in at the end of the show and talk about give me my flower. Q Dixon, you and everybody else said it was gonna be Keelan Russell, so I'd be buying flowers for everybody but me and Simeon. And Xavier, right? Right. But anyway, kudos, Q Dixon. You've been saying Keelan Russell all along. But he says, in his opinion, that O line will hold Bama from being a national title contender this year. I think the most underestimated part of Alabama's team is the O line. I think this O line is going to be better than advertised. Better than advertised. So
Yeah, we have never heard the people come out these last 2 years and talk good about the offensive line. There had been expectations of the offensive line, but Aaron Taylor, I don't know if Aaron Taylor came out last year, but if he did, he didn't say that about the offensive line. And when you hear Racing Delgatti and Jackson Lloyd talk about we're going to be able to run the ball this year, when they say that, and there's been reports of Kevin Riley breaking long runs, all these other athletes running backs breaking long runs. When did you ever hear that? And when did we ever see that in the season outside of AK Deer against UL Monroe?
right. Yeah, I think they're definitely going to be better, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I think that they may be the most underrated part of this team. And if they can live up to um, some of the expectations I have for them, which I think is for them to be significantly improved, I like Alabama's chances. Am I going out on a limb that Alabama's going to win a national title this year? No, I think this staff needs to duplicate what it did one more season with retention, recruiting, and development. But I would not be shocked if Alabama's in that Final Four this year. That's how much I believe in this staff and this team. And I believe it comes down to this quarterback and this O line gelling and doing what they do, in the chemistry being what it is and remaining. Closing thoughts, Simeon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this year, and whatever quarterback that was named, I'm going to support, and it was Keelan, and Keelan's the guy. I'm fully on board with everything about Keelan, and I trusted Coach DeBoer when he told us that they can win with either guy. Uh, and Keelan's the guy, so I'm excited to see, especially these first 5 games, how they call the offense and cater and build up his confidence building into that Georgia game. I'm just excited to see how they continue to build him up.
Keelan Russell, breakout year. RCW, returned. Running backs, reestablished. O line, better than average. Tight ends, above average. Defense, elite. All of that goes to the potential for an undefeated season. But I'm saying 10-2, um, expecting 10-2 or better. I don't see a floor lower than 10-2. We're going to break it down even more tomorrow. We appreciate the Maniacs jumping on here with us. Make sure you like, follow, and share on all the social media platforms, the Houston Huddle. We have a broadcast every Sunday like this, but then check us out throughout the week. We may be popping up some reels and some shorts for this, but we need you to like, follow, and share. Tell your family and friends about it. But also make sure you add the Martin Houston Show to your listening playlist Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. We do it every day on Tide 100.9 at 12:30 a.m., but you can do it on the live stream on all of your favorite platforms. Like, follow, and share. Roll Tide, everybody. We'll catch you on tomorrow, bright and early tomorrow morning, right here on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
Yeah. Yeah. You've been with the Houston Huddle. Xavier, the mind that knows the game. Recruiting pipelines, he calls every name. From prospects rising up to strategies untold. He paints the bigger picture, watch the story unfold. Simeon broke it down, play by play, thought by thought. Clarity in every word, logic that can't be bought. Pieces of the puzzle, he fits them all just right. Taking every angle, bringing insights to light. Then Martin stepped in, champion on the field. Passion and leadership, the drive you can feel. From national wins to lessons learned in life. He brought that fire that cuts through like a knife. Together they guided you, from locker room to the game. Three voices united, never sounding the same. Every angle covered, headline to the soul. The Houston Huddle, where you feel whole. The Houston Huddle, where the knowledge collides, three voices stronger, standing side by side. Now it's time to lock in, let the energy flow. This is your sign, unfortunately it's time to go. You've been listening to the Houston Huddle, like, follow, subscribe. Don't miss the next ball, stay ready, stay hungry. Bring your passion to the fight, till next time.